It was 4:57 p.m. on August the 16th, 2025, in the shimmering heat of the Arabian Sea. The USS Higgins, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer of the United States Navy, was running escort for a 3-ship convoy carrying high-value cargo to ports in the Persian Gulf. The waters ahead were calm, the horizon empty, until the destroyer's AN Spy-1 radar began to fill with fast-approaching contacts. At first, there were just a handful, then a dozen, then 2 dozen. By 5:03 p.m., the number had reached 60. 60 small, fast-moving craft fanning out across the sea in a loose attack wedge, their engines screaming as they tore toward the convoy at more than 30 knots. Inside the Combat Information Center, the Tactical Action Officer called for general quarters. The ship's alarm sounded, echoing through every passageway. Every sailor aboard the USS Higgins moved to battle stations. The destroyer's commanding officer watched the radar picture with unwavering focus. These were no fishing boats. This was an organized swarm, the kind of mass attack that could overwhelm an unprepared vessel in minutes. But the Higgins was prepared. From the bridge wing, the horizon was now dotted with white trails of spray as the pirate speedboats closed in. Through binoculars, the crews could be seen. Armed men gripping AK-47 rifles, some with RPG launchers propped against the bows. Many wore mismatched military gear, and their boats carried black flags or crude paint jobs. They had the look of fighters who had taken plenty before and intended to take again. But today, they faced one of the most capable warships in the US fleet. The Higgins was bristling with layered defenses. Mark 38 25mm chain guns were already tracking targets. Twin 50 caliber machine guns were locked and ready. The forward 5-inch gun was loaded with high explosive shells. Above deck, the Phalanx close-in weapon system hummed to life, its radar scanning for anything that dared come too close. By 5:08 p.m., the destroyer's flight deck crew had scrambled 2 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters, their rotors cutting into the thick sea air. The Seahawks were airborne within minutes, banking low over the water and racing ahead to intercept the pirate swarm. Each helicopter carried a door gunner, M240 machine gun at the ready, as well as advanced electro-optical targeting systems to track enemy craft in total darkness if needed. The first warning broadcast went out over the destroyer's loud hailers in English and Somali. Unidentified vessels, you are approaching a United States Navy warship. Alter course immediately, or you will be fired upon. The warning was ignored. The pirates pushed forward, splitting into 2 main groups, one heading straight for the convoy, the other attempting to circle wide to hit the merchant ships from behind. At 5:12 p.m., the captain gave the order to fire warning shots. The Higgins' forward 5-inch gun barked once, sending a high explosive shell into the water ahead of the lead pirate formation. The impact sent a column of water towering over the boats, drenching the crews. Some hesitated, throttling down momentarily. Others accelerated harder, the roar of their outboards mingling with shouts across the open water. The MH-60R Seahawks moved into position. From above, their gunners unleashed short, sharp bursts into the sea ahead of the approaching craft, forcing the pirates to veer and scatter. The churning propellers kicked up white froth as the speedboats tried to dodge the incoming fire. But the destroyer's sensors tracked every move. Link 16 data sharing kept the helicopters, shipboard guns, and escorting vessels perfectly synchronized. Every pirate maneuver was plotted in real time. No matter which direction they turned, the net was closing. At 5:17 p.m., the first direct hits came. The portside Mark 38 chain gun locked onto a skiff, trying to close the distance. A burst of 25mm fire stitched across the hull, shredding the engine and sending smoke pouring into the sky. The disabled craft slowed, listing heavily as its crew scrambled to bail water. On the starboard side, a 50 caliber gun opened up on another boat, splintering wood and forcing its crew to dive flat to avoid the incoming rounds. The pirates retaliated, firing bursts from AK-47s and loosing several RPGs toward the Higgins. The rockets fell short, splashing harmlessly into the sea. But it was enough to signal the escalation. The destroyer's forward gun thundered again, striking a boat dead on and tearing it apart in a spray of debris. By 5:22 p.m., the battle was fully engaged. The Higgins deck guns hammered the closest boats, while the Seahawks kept the wider formation from regrouping. The water boiled with white spray from near misses, tracer fire slashing across the waves. The Phalanx CIWS spun up, its rapid-fire bursts vaporizing incoming debris and making it clear that any attempt to close within its range would be fatal. One pirate group made a desperate push down the convoy's flank. The Higgins responded instantly, swinging her stern toward the attackers and unleashing a sustained barrage from the aft chain gun. Two skiffs went dead in the water almost immediately, their engines wrecked. Another boat, trying to dart past the line of fire, was met with a burst from the helicopter overhead, its hull erupting in splinters. At 5:29 p.m., the tide had turned decisively. The pirates were no longer advancing in unison. The sea was littered with damaged and sinking boats. Some crews were waving white cloths, others were diving overboard to escape the withering fire. Still, a few determined skiffs kept charging, trying to close the gap in a last-ditch bid to reach the convoy. The Higgins forward gun roared again, tearing apart one of the lead boats. The port-side .50 caliber gunner picked off another, sending its crew leaping into the water as flames consumed the wreckage. From above, the Seahawks continued to hunt, strafing any boat that tried to slip away unnoticed. By 5:36 p.m., the battle was all but over. The surviving pirate boats turned tail, throttling hard for the open sea. Some were dragging wounded crewmates, others limped away with smoking engines and shattered hulls. The Higgins held position between the convoy and the retreating attackers, maintaining full readiness in case of a second wave. The calm that followed was broken only by the crackle of the radio and the thump of helicopter rotors as the Seahawks circled overhead. The water was littered with debris, the last ripples of the fierce engagement fading into the wider expanse of the Arabian Sea. In just under 30 minutes, 60 pirate speedboats had been broken, scattered, or sunk. Not a single merchant vessel had been touched. Not a single sailor aboard the destroyer had been injured. It was another stark reminder of why the US Navy rules the seas, and why attacking a convoy under its protection is a gamble no pirate can win. As the sun dipped lower, casting a deep orange glow over the waves, the USS Higgins resumed her steady course. The convoy followed close behind, protected by the invisible shield of vigilance, firepower, and the unshakable discipline of the men and women aboard. The Battle of August 16th, 2025, would join the long list of encounters proving that speedboats, rifles, and rocket launchers are no match for precision gunnery, coordinated air support, and the centuries-old naval tradition of meeting danger head-on. If you stand with the sailors who guard the world's most dangerous waters, keeping trade routes safe from those who would prey upon them, share this video, hit like, and subscribe to the channel for more gripping accounts from the high seas. And in the comments, tell us, what do you think drives pirates to make such hopeless attacks against the US Navy, even knowing the overwhelming firepower they face?